Okay. Can you hear me? No.
Hello. We're here! Oh my gosh. I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna set it back here so you can really see me. Wow, we're all here. We all made it to this basement, which I love. It's super cozy. Make sure you drink because it makes the comedy better. Well, the other day I was at work, and I work in a store, thank you, and a fire truck pulled up, and a fireman got out of the truck, and I was standing like in the front of the store, and the fireman came in, and he, really tall, handsome fireman, and he walked right up to me, and he just looked me right in the eye, and he said, "I'm gonna need access to your basement." Just give me a minute to freshen up. Yeah, so I told that little ditty at an open mic the other night, and open mics are trash, and they're filled with like 90% straight white people, straight white men, mostly. And I told that in a room filled with straight white men, and it was about 90% white men, and about 45% of them giggled, which, I mean, you do the math. That's a good ratio. Like, I think some of them are questioning, like, which is cool. Yeah, I spend a lot of time these days in improv class. I'm actually I'm taking an improv class at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. Woo! Thank you for the applause. And right now I'm in a class with mostly straight people, which is fine. It's okay. Basically, the other day I started a scene, I finished a scene, and the teacher asked, like, so, like, what was funny about that scene? And one of the guys in the class was like, he like raised his hand and was like, well, I think when that scene started, like, Schuyler was really sad, and that was, like, super funny. And I was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. That's just me in this room 100% of the time. It's not a great situation. There's just not many different types of people here. But it is a good program, and I highly recommend it. So, like I said, I work at a store, a very fancy store. I worked there for about 2.5 years. And I think at this point I'm like very brainwashed by the corporation, and I've started noticing it just by like the things that I say on a day-to-day basis. Like, for example, I'll say things like in regards to helping my coworkers, I'll say things like to my managers, I'll say, I'm going to set them up for success. Which feels just like a little right-wing, kind of like No Child Left Behind, or Kevin Spacey is a member of the LGBTQ community. Do we need to unpack that? I hope we don't. Okay, we're not going to. Yeah, and so like a couple months ago, I was helping some women out with jeans, helping them buy some jeans. And I was helping like 3 women out, and I was like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some jeans. Like, just sit back, relax. I will be your liaison to the product. And as I said it, I was like, what is that? Where did that even? It's like I like short-circuited or something. Like literally, it was like I crashed, and they all looked at me, and they like thought I was serious, and I was like, like it's funny, right? And then I was like, it's not. It's actually really scary. It's what it is. Sorry. I didn't want to have to do this, but just need my notes. Oh yeah, okay. So we have, the store is so fancy that we have our own fragrance specialist, and her name is Janine. And she's very knowledgeable about all the fragrances that we sell in the store. And she always has like the best outfits on. They're always the newest product. And also, she's just a mannequin. Yeah. So, I know, like, now that I've got you guys warm, I know you're probably wondering what I think about this whole Oprah 2020 thing, right? That was on your mind. So, like, the Golden Globes just happened. She just won the award for the Cecile B. DeMille Golden Globe Award. She won that award. She gave a really good speech, and immediately the internet exploded with just like Oprah 2020, like she's going to be our president. And I was immediately like, yes, of course. But then when I thought about it, I'm gonna come out and say that I don't think it's a good idea. And I see some nodding, that's nice. That's nice to see. I just think, like, first of all, she's too rich, right? She's way too rich. And also, she's a celebrity. We don't want another celebrity in office. And before you ask, no, I'm not running for president in 2020. I am also way too rich. Okay? I bought 2 kombuchas at the store the other day. Not 1, 2. It was 2 for $7. I bought them both. So I'm not running for president. I'm way too rich for that. And I'm also too much of a celebrity. So I got recognized in my hometown of Ann Arbor, Michigan a few weeks ago.
Woo!
Thank you. Oh my God, go blue. I got recognized in an ice cream parlor by a teenager who said that she saw me do a performance of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance at a high school talent show. And that was back in 2010, so I've been famous for like 8 years now. That's just, it's too much. I cannot be president, so stop asking, like really. Stop asking. But if I were president, the first thing that I would get rid of is those construction walkways on the road in New York City, because they're really frightening and long. And the other day I was like exiting a very particularly like long and spooky one, the one on Bowery. I don't know if you all are familiar, if you ever go to the city, or if we all just exist here in Brooklyn. But yeah, I exited it and I saw people entering it, and the fear on their face was just, I can't even describe it. They were almost like, I felt like I locked eyes with a few people and they were like looking at me like, please provide insight as to whether or not this walkway that you just came out of is going to like ruin me. Or if I'm going to emerge from it like damaged in some way, traumatized. But then I also thought, like, what if I just like went up to those people and was just like, don't go in there! Like, don't! There's a troll down there and he's demanding money! And then I started to think, like, if I had the power to like do a little performance art, I would like hire our Goblin Queen Susan Sarandon just to like pose in those tunnels and like scare the shit out of people. I think that would be tons of fun. Yeah. So, I think I have a little more time. Yeah, okay. So I've only talked about this once on stage, but basically, okay, it's because it wasn't that funny for a while, but basically my dad had cancer this summer. I promise it gets funny. So he had cancer, but he was, went to an appointment on Friday and he's totally clear of cancer. Thank you for your applause. It's real, it's gone. No longer real, I guess. But for a while I didn't really feel like doing stand-up because I was just like, my dad has cancer, I have nothing funny to say. But then it was like okay for a little while. So, but I got to visit him and go to one of his oncology appointments and got to meet one of his doctors, which was great. And one thing that should be noted is that my dad like really likes shoes. It's kind of where I get it from. Thank you. He has a lot of shoes and he buys a lot of shoes all the time. And yeah, so we were just in this oncology appointment and the doctor came in and she was this like gorgeous woman, really put together, like great dress, very knowledgeable, like knew exactly how to attack my dad's throat cancer, and like I really trusted her, and I was like listening intently, and then I noticed the shoes she was wearing, and it was like, I mean, these were the worst kitten heels I have ever seen. Like, they looked like they were from the 1950s. They were like maybe once purple, but they were like a murky gray by the time she wore them to that appointment, and like had little bows on them, and clearly had been dragged through like 30 winters. Like, she didn't have boots, she just wore those kitten heels out every day. And so that's all I could focus on for like most of the appointment, after I saw them. And then so like we exited the appointment and everything was like, okay, like we're gonna beat cancer. And my dad was like, I love Dr. Kress, like she's amazing. But like, what about her shoes? And I was like, oh, Dad's gonna be fine. Like, he's still Dad. Like, he's totally gonna be fine. And he is fine, which is great. Speaking of family, transitions. I have like really dark eyebrows. Really like dark, bushy eyebrows. Oh, that's my life. Basically, all I want to say about this is that my siblings have like really thin, like light brown eyebrows, very like Reese Witherspoon type eyebrows. And nowadays it's like you're considered hot if you have bushy eyebrows, apparently. And my brother texted me the other day and he had filled in his eyebrows and he took some photos and he was like, look, like, do you like this? And I was like, okay, well, like, I've been hot for a while, and you all used to make fun of me, and now you're trying to look like me, and that's just a little messed up. So that's what I'm going to say about that. That is a new ditty I'm working on. I didn't really know how to end my set, so I thought that I would just sing a little, and I wanted to do a duet with someone that's very special to me, very near and dear to my heart, so I wanted to invite them up onto the screen. So this is someone who's like, this is a younger Schuyler. And I just thought I would sing with him, because that feels right in the moment. So whenever he's ready, I'll just... My heart will go